All right, so for this chapter here, we're working on chapter 9D, and what we're covering is arrays in two-step experiments. Now, the learning aim is that we'll be learning how to use an array, and that will help us list the sample space, okay? Specifically for two-step experiments. We'll also be using the array to help us find the probability of different outcomes. And there are two different scenarios that you can have. You can have the with and the without replacement. Okay. And your success criteria, hopefully after this video, is that you can use the array to list all the possible sample space. You can identify whether the events require replacement or without. So like the context of the questions, and you can calculate the probability of events using the table, stuff like that. Now, this is just a summary of what I'll be talking about. This is all from the textbook. I've just done it, just written it down a bit separately, okay? So, what is an array? An array is pretty much like a table. Now, depending on how big your outcomes are, the array also gets bigger. So that changes. It is not the same, okay? Just a note, not the same as a two-way table. Two-way table, just like that. It is not exactly the same. Now, what you have to watch out for is you need to be consistent with the order of such things. Okay, so what I mean by that is the order of your um results. So, for example, you flip a coin. Okay, you flip a coin the first time, lands on heads. Great, cool. Jot it down, and then you flip the coin again. It lands on tails. Okay, cool. So now you know that you flip heads the first time, and then you flip tails the second time. All right, start clean again. New experiment. You flip a coin, lands on tails first, and then you flip it again, it lands on heads. So as you can see, the different results that you get, although they may be similar, they are not exactly the same, okay? They are different outcomes. So you must be careful with that, okay? Now, an example, and this is an example with replacement. So two letters are chosen from the word cat. So what you're going to do is you're just going to draw something like this. So assume that the word cat is spelt separately on each card. So you have C on one card, A on another card, and T on the third card. What you're going to do is you're going to pick card at random. Okay. So assuming that they're face down, it's shuffled and everything, you're going to pick a card at random. Okay, cool. You have one of three options to choose the first time you pick a card. Yeah. You have C, A, and then you have T. So this is first pick. Now, when it comes to with replacement, what you can do is you can actually put the card back. You can actually put it back. So in this case, what you're going to do is, let's just say you pick up the letter C. Okay, cool, I record it. I can put the letter C back in the pile. And the total number of cards is still three. It hasn't reduced or anything. I still put it back. I can reshuffle it again and then pick a card the second time. Now, the options you got are technically C, A, T as well. I'll probably write this a bit further down just to give it some space, give it some breathing room. C, A, and then T. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the results. So, pick up a card. I pick up the letter C. Cool, put it back. I'm going to record it. That's there. I shuffle the cards around on my table again. I'm going to pick another random card and I end up with the letter C again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the result CC, just like that. And then you just pretty much follow this logic where you just fill out the table entirely. So let's just do a couple more and then I'll just fill out the rest. So shuffle the cards again, new experiment, pick up the letter A. Cool. Record the letter A first. Put it back in the table, shuffle it again, and then when I pick up my second card, it ends up being the letter C. So I'm going to record the letter C just like that. Now, what you need to imagine is it's pretty much like you're just going down or across, and then you're going horizontally like that. What you're looking for is you're looking at the intersection. Okay. So you're looking at where they meet. So, for example, I'm just going to do something like this. I'm going to try and avoid hitting the letters. So look at the dotted line going downwards, and then you look at the dotted line going across. Okay. And then you just look at where they meet. Okay. You just line it up and you just pick those two letters together. Bang, combine them. But obviously, the order that you write the letters, very, very important. You can't just write random stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to undo all of this. Here we go. And then I'll just get rid of this right here. So you just keep following the flow. So you got T, comma C. So as you can see, that first row that I just filled out, yeah. The one thing that they share in common is the letter C is always in the second slot. And like once you sort of start practicing these kinds of questions, you sort of start picking up on the pattern, okay? But let's just continue working through it. Um, so it's like this. So my first card I pick up here is C. My second card is A. And then I'm going to go, my first card that I pick up is the letter C. And then my second card is the letter T. And then you'll notice, see, as you go down this column here, the first letters are all C. And then once you sort of establish this pattern, it's quite easy to fill out. You can just pretty much go, hey, this is double A. This is TA. This is AT. And this is TT. Just like that. Okay. So obviously when you draw your nice, lovely array, you're obviously going to have a ruler to sort of separate all of this, just to make life a bit easier. Oh, let me just fix this up. Let me do this. No. Okay. Just like this. So please carry a ruler with you. Very, very important. Obviously, yours will look a lot more nicer than mine, but I'm just doing the best that I've got as of right now. Got this final one here. Great. Just like that. And then you just connect it. Boom. Cool. And then the question will ask something like this. Let's just find it real quick. Where's the textbook? Um, it'll just say something like find the probability of, or like tell me the number of outcomes. So as you can see, oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. As you can see, there are 9 different outcomes. And then like the question will just feed into it, okay? I'll go into more detail soon. I'll probably just update it right now. Just give me one moment. let's just get back into it. So, part A here says, how many outcomes are there? I've just mentioned it earlier. There's a total of 9 because if you look back at your table, you're just going to count how many outcomes there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's pretty simple. Now, part B says, find the probability that the two letters chosen are C and A. So, what you're going to do is you're going to refer to your table here and look for any combination where there's A and C together or C and A, whatever it is. So what I'll do is I'll just have a browse. So this is one combination here. Great. Actually, I'll change the color to be yellow. See right there. You also have this right here. And then you're just going to look through all the outcomes and see if it matches. From what I see so far, there are two. Okay. So there's two of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write, hey, PR of C and A being selected. I'll just say selected or chosen. Actually, selected sounds better. Selected. So we counted two, and then how many total number of outcomes were there? There was 9, so it's just going to be 2 over 9. Now, part C here, find the probability that at least one of the letters is a T. So refer back to your table. Now, the word at least meaning minimum, minimum 1T or more. That's what it means. So I'll just write PR of at least 1T equals 2. And let's just go back to our table and count it. So I've got 1, I've got 2, I've got 3, I got 4, and I got 5 because the question's saying at least. And then that means a minimum of 1T or more than 1T. So since I've counted 5, the probability of at least 1T is 5 over 9. And that's how it would go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase this highlighted bit just to make it easier. Just like that. Yeah. Please try this activity question yourselves, okay? Just give it a crack. If it's not working out for you, that's okay. Just come to me. I'll help you out as soon as I can. Now, this is an example without replacement, okay? Without. So what happens when it's without is the total number changes, okay? And then that changes the whole array, okay? It makes it look a bit funky. But we're just going to use the same example. We're going to use the word cat, okay? So let's just do that again. What I'll actually do is I'll just draw a nice table, CAT, or CAT, and then CAT. So I'll go 4 by 4. Oh, whoops. Whoops. How do I do this? Let's move this. Let's move this. Let's just change the design to make it look nicer. Like that. Great. And change this. Oh yeah, it's already. I can just make it smaller. It's perfectly fine. Change that maybe to. Let's change it to 3. No, it's too much. 2? Yeah, 2 looks a lot nicer. So I'm just going to fill in the words C A T again, and same thing C A T. Now the top will be my first pick, and then the side will be my second pick. Now, what happens here, I'll just describe it for a moment, is say if you got the three cards again, when you take the first pick, let's just say you shuffle, you pick up a letter, it's the letter A. What you're going to do is you're actually going to remove the A. The A does not get put back. Okay. And when that happens, your total decreases, decreases by one. Okay. So the amount of options that you have for the second pick is actually two letters now instead of the usual three. Okay. So let's just go through one together. Say, for example, I picked the first letter C. Okay. Well, actually, we'll do the letter A because that's just what I just talked about. So we'll pick the letter A. Okay. So I know I'm going to fill this with A first. And then you ask yourself, hey, what options do I have after I remove the letter A for my second letter? All I've got is C and T, right? Those are my only two options. But then you ask yourself, oh, what do I fill in here? How do I get double A? Like, how do I pick A the second time? Well, the reality is that you can't pick the letter A again. So, what you typically do is you would put in an X right there, just to indicate that that outcome does not exist in this array. And what you're going to do is you're going to follow this process every single time. Now, this only works whenever you're picking the same exact thing, the same exact outcome here. So let's just say I picked the letter T, but I can't pick the letter T for my second card, so it doesn't work. So it's what you're going to do is you're just going to put a cross here, and you sort of like establishing a pattern right here. You sort of see this diagonal right now. So this diagonal is pretty cool. What you're going to do is you're just going to draw an X on this exact diagonal line. It's pretty cool, pretty neat. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fill out the rest of the table. So my first card is T. And so my second card in this case will be the letter C and then TA. And you just keep filling this out just like so. Now, this is technically a completed table right here. So as you can see, this is my table. All right, moving on to the question here. It'll say something like list the total number of outcomes. So you're just going to have a look at your little table here, just count what you've got, okay? So as you can see, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, the total number of outcomes has reduced compared to the example with replacement, okay? So that's just something to point out. Without replacements, you know it will have a lower total number of outcomes. So the amount of outcomes that we counted was 6. And then the question will say, following up, find the probability that at least one A is selected. So just have a look through here. At least one. So I have here this one. I have this one here. I have this one there. And I have this one there. So all of these, so these four outcomes that I've highlighted have 1A selected. I wouldn't say at least one. I'll just say 1A is selected. And then what you'll do is you'll just say something like this: the probability of 1A selected is 4 out of 6. And then you can simplify this fraction down to 2/3. Okay. Now, You can try out this activity question, give it a go. Okay. Um, just let me know. I'll come around as well. So don't worry too much. And then once you're confident, once you feel happy with this, you can work on these three questions here, 3, 4, and 8. And that'll be all you have to do for chapter 9D. Okay. Um, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.